system, I guess, maybe more akin to Washington State, or what do you see from them and their offense and kind of how they've operated it so far this year?
Well, I think since they've transitioned with the quarterbacks, to Ty, number 6, really done a good job. I mean, a few games back since he stepped in there, the offense has been really productive. The pass game has been really productive, and obviously when you start to work pass game, run game, they start to complement each other. The offense starts to open up. But, the quarterback's back there driving the bus, and he's done a really good job since he's got his opportunity. And they have their weapons on the outside. They got long wide receivers, big guys that run routes as well. They're just not type of wide receivers that go up and get it. Slot wide receiver is really good as well. Younger guy, but, he's been really productive for them this year. And so, obviously, the run game with the quarterback as well, being a number in terms of his athleticism and stuff, always poses a challenge as well.
You guys play in Nevada is a team that was a rival. When you were here and stuff like that, you don't play them every year. You don't play Fresno State every year anymore and stuff like that. How do you as coaches kind of deal with that maybe there's not necessarily a rival for Boise State anymore, and that seems to be the lifeblood of college football. So how do you guys approach that? You know what? I mean, when the conferences changed, a few years back and all that, and the divisions were created and all that, you have those rivalries that we used to play every single year. But I think it still exists. It's still there. There's tradition there that goes way back. So I think, the guys need to know that and need to understand that. They need to understand the tradition of where they're at and who our rivals were in the past. And obviously every single week, we've got to treat it like a rivalry game. And you get down the stretch here and everyone's competing, for divisional titles and obviously to get to the conference championship game.
They have a running back named Kelton Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do a double check or double take with that name at all?
No, I just look at numbers. You know me. You guys know that all the time. I look at numbers. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the names, but that name is quite close to a familiar name.
Yeah. How impressive has he been at times? I mean, it seems like first couple games didn't do a ton, and then he's been a big reason why their offense has kind of started to click recently. Yeah,
no question. Big back, gets downhill, runs physical, and like we were talking about before. I mean, I think once again they do a good job with their run game complementing the pass game, and not in terms of handling numbers within the box or numbers within coverages, but they do a good job creating schemes that complement each other, pass plays off the run action and things like that. So I think overall they do a really good job, and the back's physical, and obviously the O-line's got a big part in that as well.
How do these are college kids and they see that their record says 1-7, and I know the last couple of games have obviously been a lot closer than that. How do you, as coaches, you have to do this from time to time, how do you kind of approach that with your team? Right,
there's no question about that. I mean, you turn on the film and especially here late, you watch it, and there's no way. I mean, there's games that come right down to the wire to the last possessions against very, very, very good teams. This team is good. They've been playing exceptional on offense since the quarterback's been in there. I think that's one thing that everyone's got to understand. And I think overall, as we get, we start pushing into the last quarter of the season here, teams are developing, teams are getting better. You can see those teams when you come up and face them, what they look like in the beginning of the year, what they are now. And obviously, every team's trying to do that. We're trying to do that. And I think Nevada's done a great job with developing over the course of the season into where they're at right now. And obviously, they're coming off a bye week as well.
Is that easy as a coach to kind of get your guys to understand that, or is it sometimes?
No, it's not. It's not. It's difficult. It really is. And each and every week we talk about that. That poses a challenge every week, just to get yourself focused with urgency to prepare. And ultimately, we see it all throughout college football. You could throw the records out. It's about who prepares every single week. And who puts in the work throughout the week, and obviously, in turn, hopefully paying off on game day. And like I said, I think where this team is at right now, where Nevada is at right now, compared, to the beginning of the year, they've made tons of strides.
Andy, the Nevada and Washington State offenses are kind of from the same root. How much carryover is there for you guys, what you saw that week that you can kind of build off of this week?
Yeah, I mean, there is some carryover there. There was some carryover last week, as well from that same branch. Obviously, everyone's got their tweak to, how they exactly do it. different players, different personnel, but I think it is similar. I think the thing that Nevada obviously poses is their length on the outside. You know, they got long wide receivers that could run and run really good routes. And the quarterback play, you know, has been pretty efficient lately in terms of getting the ball out and, you know, doing a good job of reading the coverage. But we're going to see some similar schemes, yeah. I mean, at this point in the year, we've seen a ton of different offenses this year. So, you know, hopefully they start to be, you know, there's some consistency as we go along here down the stretch.
Talked a lot about your D-line, but you had a couple of guys go down in the last game. How do you know, we've talked about the depth there, but I guess it might be tested a little more.
Yeah, no question. Getting tested. Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, and that's this is what we prepare for all throughout, you know, the year. You know, it's football, it's physical. It's going to happen, but you're 100% right. It's going to get tested now, and it's time for guys to step up and play. And guys played really well at the end of the game last week. Guys that stepped in there and that weren't starters, but you know are starting to get a bunch of reps and did a really good job. So we obviously got to have a good week of practice, and hopefully that can carry over with some of those individuals.
What's allowed Kikala to have success early on in his career? How much of that is influenced by his high school program?
You know what? I think a lot of it is rooted, you know, in who he is and his family. Comes from a great family. He is very intelligent now. He's a competitor. And you talk about when you're recruiting guys and you're looking for, well, first and foremost, all these guys you recruit out of high school, they want to come in and they want to play early. And obviously we're looking to find the ability and the length and the size and all that, but there's some intangibles in there that allow guys to actually have a shot to do that. And he has those things. He has the confidence, the awareness of what's going on and what he needs to get done. And probably the biggest thing is the maturity at his age to be able to handle everything consistently, day to day. You know what I'm saying? And take it one day at a time. And, you know, he's a guy that wants to go into, you know, biomedical engineering. And that's about as far as I could explain and going into it because it's way above me. But he's extremely intelligent and an extremely good competitor.
When you kind of mentioned Kala, how has he kind of moved into get more playing time and stuff? I asked Harsin about it a little bit. You know, he said that Des Williams had kind of been playing that spot, but just Kala's been in there a lot. He's kind of in that nickel, that number 3 corner, whatever you want to call it. He's been in there a lot. How has he been able to earn that spot and earn more and more playing time as he's progressed here?
Well, I think it's just the consistency, you know, what he brings every single day, the consistency, his ability to prepare for practice every day and his ability to go out. And, you know, it's not all going to be perfect. He's young. He needs experience. He's going to learn as he goes. But his ability to compete, I mean, to be a great competitor, you got to be able to compete with yourself. And when you're learning new things are foreign, you got to be able to compete with yourself first. And he knows how to do that. He doesn't get stuck on things that may go wrong too long, and that allows him to move forward and learn quickly. And I think that's a big part of what's allowed his role to expand within certain situations, you know, when we're playing against certain offenses.
The fourth quarter, I asked Zach about it a little bit and asked Harsin about it. Everybody wants to win it, but so far this year, you guys have turned what was last year kind of a deficit in terms of the point differential to the other way around. What has been, in your opinion, why do you think the team's maybe better, the defense is better in the fourth quarter this year?
You know, I think just the emphasis on it, making guys aware of things we need to fix. And you know, it's a good group. I mean, the guys, whatever, you know, the challenges that are there, or the issues that are there that we need to get better at, you know, obviously presenting them in a positive manner and giving ideas and solutions of how to get that done. And the guys have done a really good job of buying into that, you know, and just being in all phases in the weight room. Obviously at practice there's an emphasis on it, but when you start to emphasize things everywhere, you know, and you start to hopefully make it carry over into school as well for these guys and in the other areas and really trying to teach them to do things one way and one way only, and they know no different, and that's really what we're trying to get done.
I mean, you guys have done a good job, especially the last game, getting off the field. I guess how important, I mean, as you get to the later parts of the game, if you're getting off the field after 3, 4, 5 plays earlier in the game, How much does that kind of help you maybe close out ball games in the end?
Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, the play count's not as high. Guys are fresher, being able to rotate guys more, and keep guys fresh. I mean, not only through obviously through the season, that's a huge payoff, but also throughout a game, quarter to quarter, half to half, and obviously in turn into the game, to the end of the game. Having the guys fresh, and when we got to be at our best in the fourth quarter, and the physical starts to affect the mental, and I think the guys have done a good job of even in situations when we've had to play a lot, they've done a good job battling that physical, maybe being a little bit tired, but being able to battle through that. I think we got some good leaders that push through that bring the rest of the guys with us.
Earlier this year, you were saying that some of the more important teaching points, you can emphasize them a lot, so sometimes they might get a little mundane and you might tune them out a little bit. When it comes to stopping the run, how important are those little details each and every week, and how much pride do you guys take that right now you're top 10 rush defense in the country?
It's a challenge every single week preparing to get ready for that, and we do certain drills at practice, and the guys, when we go to those drills, sometimes they're not even full speed drills, but the intensity and the focus and the energy within those drills, it's all about a mentality, and everything starts with that. You see different offenses each week. You see, different schemes. And you get different challenges with quarterbacks presenting a number in the run game. And the guys have responded well to that stuff and being able to handle how we need to adjust our fronts and our fits to certain things we're seeing. And the guys have done an excellent job getting in there and studying that. And obviously we got another challenge with that this week with a mobile quarterback. So the guys are going to have to be on point.